Welcome to Key Tech. Please describe this channel if you're interested in today's video. In the technological wave of rapid AI computing power development, the evolution from 5G to 6G, and the accelerated intelligentization of automotive electronics, the semiconductor industry has become a major battleground for global technological competition. Silicon wafers, as the first raw material in chip manufacturing, directly determine chip yield and reliability, making them an irreplaceable strategic cornerstone of the industry chain. However, the global large-size silicon wafer market has long been dominated by a few international manufacturers, and China is highly dependent on imports in the field of high-performance silicon wafers, posing a serious challenge to the security of its industry chain. Driven by multiple factors including policy guidance, market demand, and geopolitical situation, achieving domestic production of silicon wafers has become a crucial link in ensuring the self-reliance and controllability of the industry chain. Long-term overseas monopoly, China's silicon wafer industry urgently needs a breakthrough. In the global semiconductor silicon wafer industry landscape, the large-size silicon wafer market has long been dominated by international giants such as Shin-Etsu Chemical of Japan, Sumco, and Siltronic of Germany. In contrast, the domestic market has long been reliant on imports for high-end silicon wafers, a situation that has remained fundamentally unchanged. Data shows that before 2016, the domestic production rate of 12-inch silicon wafers was essentially zero, and even by 2024, it was projected to be only around 18% to 20%. This supply system, dominated by overseas companies, has meant that China has long relied on imports for large silicon wafers needed in key areas such as high-end logic chips and memory chips. This bottleneck risk hangs like a sword of Damocles, not only putting domestic semiconductor companies under pressure from high procurement costs and unstable delivery times, but also posing a potential security risk of supply chain disruptions in the context of a complex and volatile international situation. Faced with this urgent need, a group of Chinese companies have stepped forward, aiming to break down barriers through technological breakthroughs and reshape the market landscape through independent innovation. Among them, Hangzhou Zhongxin Jingyuan Semiconductor Company, Limited, hereinafter referred to as Zhongxin Jingyuan, with its comprehensive layout and continuous innovation in the full-size silicon wafer field, is becoming a core force driving the breakthrough of domestic silicon wafers. Recently, Zhongxin Jingyuan successfully listed on the innovation layer of the National Equities Exchange and Quotations, NEEQ, and initiated its listing guidance on the Beijing Stock Exchange. This move in the capital market is not only an affirmation of its years of technological accumulation and market performance, but also marks a new stage in the standardization and high-quality development of China's independent silicon wafer enterprises. On the crucial track of breaking through the monopoly, Zhongxin Wafer's product portfolio and strong technological capabilities are the core support for its breakthrough. As one of the few domestic companies with the capability to supply semiconductor silicon wafers of all sizes, Zhongxin Wafer has built a complete product matrix covering 4 to 12-inch polished wafers and 8 to 12-inch epitaxial wafers, fully meeting the diverse application needs of logic circuits, memory chips, image processing, discrete/power devices, and general-purpose processors. This dual-track approach of developing both polished and epitaxial wafers has laid a solid foundation for Zhongxin Wafer to achieve large-scale import substitution. Market performance confirms the effectiveness of this strategy. In May of this year, the combined monthly sales volume of all Zhongxin Wafer products historically exceeded 1 million wafers, with a compound annual growth rate of 32% over the past 5 years, deeply demonstrating the high recognition of its products, technology, and services by customers. In addition, what truly enabled Zhongxin Wafer to break the monopoly lies in its genuine expertise in core technologies. Taking its independently developed 8-inch heavily boron-doped ultra-thick polished silicon wafer for gallium nitride epitaxy as an example, this product, through multiple core process innovations, has achieved a significant breakthrough in the field of high-end substrate materials, successfully breaking the long-standing reliance on imports for this type of substrate and filling a gap in related domestic technology. It is reported that the product has passed authoritative industry verification, with a series of key indicators such as flatness, curvature control, wafer thickness, and surface particles exceeding expectations and directly benchmarking against international advanced levels. This superior performance and technological strength made Zhongxin Wafer the only semiconductor material company to win the CIF New Materials Award at the 25th China International Industry Fair in 2025, an award that represents the highest recognition of its technological advancement. Ultimately, the core of technology must be validated by the market. Zhongxin Wafer's breakthrough in the domestic silicon wafer field is by no means a random market opportunity. This confidence stems not only from the support of its full-size product matrix and market recognition achieved through monthly sales exceeding 1 million wafers, but also from its deep-rooted Chinese development DNA and unwavering commitment to self-reliance and control, making it an indispensable core force in China's journey towards self-sufficiency in the semiconductor supply chain. From a developmental perspective, Zhongxin Wafer's growth history is a microcosm of the development of China's semiconductor silicon wafer industry. Starting with the introduction of overseas 4 to 6-inch polished wafer production lines and process technologies, it laid the foundation for early development and embarked on the exploration of domestically produced silicon wafers.